Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, June 26th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. On Monday night, Norwood held its special and annual town meeting. The FY 2021 budget passed without any discussion. The total budget came in at $205,782,459. Of that number, $52,736,000 made up of the school department budget, and total shared costs came to $47,912,522.
So annual town meeting passed in under an hour and 45 minutes, which I believe is a record for Norwood. Of course, we designed it that way by moving as many items to the fall as we can. We were able to get through the budget. There was some good debate on a couple of articles. The budget passed as it is, and we've got a couple of great projects coming up in the fall and in the next fiscal year, including a reformed planning department and a new facilities department, as well as some key investments in the school department. So all in all, there was some good debate and some good discussion, and we were able to get a safe, socially distant town meeting done in under 2 hours, which is a great record for Norwood. And we're looking forward to the fall, looking forward to a great new fiscal year.
Some discussion did occur, however, over the conservation agent job position left open by the retirement of Al Getz.
The town organizational chart has been changed, and the conservation agent is now under the Community Development Department instead of being separate under the Conservation Commission. And their conservation budget is no longer visible to town meeting members as it is embedded in the community development budget.
So the agent position is a part-time position. The individual in that position is retiring. It provided service from, and Al did a great job, from 8 to noon, Monday through Friday. We didn't have afternoon service. The position's being expanded to a full-time agent/planner position so that we can get more out of the next occupant of that office. We'll have full-time conservation support. We'll have the full-time ability to order any conditions that need to be done or take care of the agent's work, but we also want to do some of the planning work so we can be proactive in our environmental approach and not reactive.
It was a successful night at town meeting. However, there was a lot going on behind the scenes to make this year's town meeting possible. Brian Boudreau has the latest in the NHS gym.
Right now, the NHS gym is empty, but on Monday night, 164 town meeting members used it as their venue to host town meeting. With tables and chairs spaced safely 6 feet apart, it was time to call town meeting to order.
All right, I call town meeting to order. We are here on June 22nd, 2020 for the special town.
Normally held in May, town meeting would take place in the NHS auditorium, and after reviewing several options, the Board of Health recommended to move the meeting to the gym. Town moderator David Hearn worked closely with public safety and town officials to make sure the night ran efficiently, safely, and smoothly.
I have to thank everybody who was involved, all the town meeting members, the town officials, everybody that helped to put this together. I want to thank NCM for their work and their help in getting this set up. It was different doing it in the gymnasium, but we got it done, and I think everybody was happy to get it done.
The town clerk's office checked in town meeting members as they entered the gym. Using color-coded zones to separate members by district, clerks were able to get people checked in quickly and safely. Town clerk Mary Lou Fulham was confident in her team and the safety measures taken.
I think we've taken all kinds of precautions. I think people are comfortable. It looks like we're going to get a good crowd, and people have started filing in already and stuff, and hopefully it'll go great. I think people will be happy. Hopefully they will be. We're making all kinds of precautions, and hopefully the night will go great.
When a town meeting member was recognized to speak, microphones were placed on long boom poles to eliminate contact with the microphones. Town meeting also had an outdoor option for those who felt more comfortable outside in the open air. A secondary sound system was set up to allow them to participate. Town meeting member Julie Barbara Issa took advantage of the outdoor choice.
I thought it went smoothly. I felt safe. I was in the outdoor section. I heard that it went smoothly inside and people felt safe, so I guess then it was successful.
With new safety precautions and procedures, town meeting looked very different this year. But as always, members take their role very seriously, and they were able to wrap up what normally takes a couple of nights in just 2 hours. For Norwood News, I'm Brian Boudreau.
Thanks, Brian. Sigal Reese sat down with Brian Boudreau to talk about the current status of COVID-19 crisis and what we can look forward to as the state continues their phased reopening plan.
So at the beginning, it was very restrictive, where you could only get tested if you had symptoms. At first, it was, I think, if you only had symptoms and you were exposed. At this point, if you have any symptoms, you can get a test, or if you've been in contact with somebody that had symptoms that was diagnosed. If you are designated as a close contact of a case, we want to get you tested. But really, through our community testing program in partnership with Norwood Hospital, we have pretty much opened that up to anybody. You can call the number at the hospital, make an appointment, and schedule a test. But I do want to say the testing is for viral testing, so it's testing to see if you currently have the virus. There is availability through other programs of antibody testing, but there's still a lot of questions we have with antibody testing. The accuracy of it isn't great, and even if we know, even if you show up and you have the antibodies, we don't really know what that means because this is a new virus. Something like measles, we know if we can show immunity in a blood test, an antibody test, we know exactly what that means. We know that you have immunity. If you have antibodies to COVID-19, we don't know what that means. We don't know your level of immunity. We don't know how long that immunity lasts. The only thing it tells you is that at some point you were exposed, but it doesn't tell you any information that you could change your behavior. It doesn't give you a free pass out of, quarantine or allow you to not wear a face covering. It doesn't give you any of that.
Tune into NCM to watch the full show. We will be right back after this break for some more town news.
Do you want to stay up to date with Norwood Community Media? Then subscribe to our weekly NCM newsletter. Every Friday, our promotions department publishes an online newsletter that highlights the work of NCM and the latest happenings. It includes the full episode of Norwood News, recent clips from NCM programs, behind-the-scenes photos, and so much more. NCM works hard to deliver a steady stream of Norwood content, and this newsletter is another way to stay connected to Norwood. To receive the newsletter, just visit www.norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Scroll to the bottom of the page, click the Sign Up for Our Newsletter button, and enter some basic information. You'll then be added to our newsletter mailing list. It's all here on Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back. If you've walked into the center of town recently, you may have noticed Central Street's Summer Makeover. Central Street has been transformed into an outdoor community seating area for residents who want to enjoy some local food or just enjoy a nice summer night. The inspiration came in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, and town departments banded together to create a stunning and safe gathering place for the community.
So earlier this year, we had been planning on ways to bring placemaking to downtown, and the COVID pandemic sort of kicked that into gear when we were looking for a way to have people be able to eat safely outdoors, to be able to come outdoors and enjoy some of the takeout options, as well as bring lunch from home or pick something up at the grocery store. So we figured, let's close off Central Street, we'll put down some turf, we'll string some lights up and create sort of an outdoor dining area. And it was a great collaboration. The Recreation Department, the Light Department, and the DPW all stepped up to help make it happen. And now we have throughout at least July and probably for the rest of the summer, our outdoor takeout area, our outdoor dining area, whatever you want to call it. A lot of families have been coming by and just enjoying time here. It's open to anyone. You can get takeout from any restaurant. You can bring food from home and just come and enjoy it. We have plenty of trash barrels. We have portalettes out here. We also have sanitizer stations available. We have about 6 of them just on this small stretch of street as well. And there's more amenities coming too. We're eventually going to have Wi-Fi down here. We're going to have a sound system as well. And we're going to continue along with more plants and more decorations as well. The benches that you're sitting on now on Central Street were actually built by the Facilities Department and the Public Works Department. We had ordered cafe-style seating from a vendor, but because so many restaurants are ordering that type of seating, the vendor actually had it backlogged and we weren't able to get them in. So in a rush to make sure we could get it open when we wanted to, we had to have Facilities and DPW build these tables. So we were sitting at one of these picnic benches. They were actually built by our Facilities Department and our Public Works Department. They even competed a little bit about who would make the nicer table.
Thanks, Tony, and all our town employees who did such a great job with that project. Last weekend, the United Norwood Group hosted their second event, this time at the Endine Park area behind Hawes Pool. Jeffrey Baguma, a Norwood police officer, explains his role in the group.
I'm one of the lead people in trying to create a movement which helps educate Norwood as a whole and brings Norwood together.
On June 7th, the United Norwood Group hosted their first event on the town common. Baguma recapped the event as a way to get the discussion started and explains why it was important to host it.
The nation had been going through, or has been going through, a very tough time, and it wasn't easy, but what birthed this event was a feeling and a desire to do something You can't go home and look at yourself in the mirror knowing that there's something that you could do. You know, however small, you just feel that, you know, it's your duty, and you know, your duty to do something to help people one way or the other.
This past Saturday's event was more of a group participation. It was encouraged that people in attendance share their stories.
Its importance relied on the participation of the Norwood community. We wanted to hear from the community about their stories, their feelings of, you know, certain events which occurred in Norwood, what they feel Norwood needs to do to improve, you know, itself, and what it needs to do for a certain part of the population to feel less like guests, but more like they're at home as well, at the same table. So that's what we're doing with the second event and the events going forward. You want to bring, you know, all different brothers, all different, you know, sisters from different races and cultures, and you know, all, you know, everything under the sun, to be able to listen to each other. So that was the most important thing. Number one was to listen so you could educate yourself on things that you may have not known about. But number two was to actually group brainstorm, and try to figure out how we could fix things. So we would ask, you know, participants or people who came, what do you think we need to do to change this or to fix that? It was only a 2-hour event, but we gave the participants the ability to email us and, you know, continue the conversation, because we wanted to let them know that this is not just an event. We will follow up on certain issues, you know. We want you to know that it's not one event, 2 events, and then we're done because we feel good about ourselves. No, it's really trying to change Norwood for the better, and you know, you always want to keep trying to strive for that. That email address, if they want to contact us, is Norwood United Peace Justice, norwoodunitedpeacejustice@gmail.com. If they go online and go to Norwood United for Peace and Justice on Facebook, they should be able to see all the events that we're promoting and pushing for the near and, you know, far future, as well as Let's Talk Norwood should be also doing the same thing.
Baguma wants residents of Norwood to know that the purpose of starting the group is to educate, inform, and encourage people to get involved.
You know, it's to really educate people, no matter what background you're from or what color you are. It's really, you know, a program to just unite Norwood. You know, that's why we call it Norwood United for Peace and Justice. Please, you know, give it a try. Give it a try. You know, sometimes people will, instead of reading the entire article, they'll look at a newspaper and just read the headline. You know, please, you know, whatever you do, don't make up your decision until you really get into the details and understand how positive a place we're coming from.
If you're interested in getting involved with United Norwood, check out their Facebook page. After 12 years of operation, one of Norwood's popular restaurants is closing. Olivardi Restaurant announced that they would be closing its doors on June 24th. The announcement, released by the DeLappa family, stated, quote, "It was a difficult decision, but like many restaurants, Olivardi has faced unprecedented financial hardship due to the impact of COVID-19. In addition, we are mourning the recent unexpected passing of our owner and founder, Anthony F. DeLappa. We would like to thank you for supporting us and making Olivardi's one of the area's most popular dining establishments. Serving you and being an enthusiastic part of our local community has truly been an honor," end quote. Sad news for our restaurant community, and our condolences to the DeLappa family. Not only was the food fantastic, but the exterior of the restaurant was first class and improved the look of a very busy intersection here in Norwood. Stay tuned after this break for some school and government news.
Hi, I'm Chief Bill Brooks of the Norwood Police Department. The men and women of the Norwood PD are committed to protecting you and to providing you with top quality service. We're busy. Norwood is a nice town, but in any given 24-hour cycle, we handle anywhere from 65 to 90 radio calls and officer-initiated events. We patrol the town's 10 square miles, including over 100 miles of roadways. Our traffic enforcement focuses on places where crashes have occurred, neighborhoods where residents have reported chronic violations, and offenses that impact crashes like speed, texting, running stop signs and red lights, and failing to yield to pedestrians. When we're not tied up on calls, we work hard to build relationships with members of the community. So you'll see our officers out walking footbeats, checking in with merchants, and stopping at sporting events to chat with kids. We believe that every resident should know, or at least feel like they know, a member of our department. So if you see us, stop and say hello. We'd love to chat with you. On behalf of the men and women of the Norwood Police Department, it's our pleasure to serve you.
Welcome back. In school news, the summer learning programs are already underway. At the elementary level, the schools have a math coordinator and a reading coordinator. Together, they have created a summer learning program for elementary students that provide extensive resources and fun activities that are easily accessible on the school's website.
So we have a variety of resources available for students for their summer reading. You can continue to work online, as we have been the last few months, by using some familiar websites such as Freckle and Epic. You can also join the Norwood Public Library Summer Reading Online program, which is a virtual escape room. But as always, we encourage you just to pick up a book and read, read, read. Our goal for the summer is that you continue to love reading and that you strengthen your skills and keep up your skills so that you're ready to come back to school in September. So this year we've had to be a little creative with the options that we are providing. So we wanted to make sure that we had some options that are available both online so that kids can continue to interact with the programs that they've been using this spring, and also to just encourage students to pick up a book and read, read, read. So our goal is that students will continue to love reading. So whether they're working on their Freckle online or whether they pick up a book and they read under a tree or they read to their pet, we're hoping that over the summer they'll continue their love of reading and they'll keep strengthening their skills so that they're ready for September.
In addition to strengthening students' reading skills, the website also has many choices to help students with their math skills.
This summer in math, we have digital options, project-based activities, and unplugged activities for students to choose from on a math menu. These activities have been designed and selected on purpose, so students have choice, and they can get super focused on a project maybe, or they can continue learning on an online program that we've used throughout the spring. There are many options for students who have digital computer-based availability, and for students who would rather play a board game, make a new recipe, get involved in a project that might take all summer. What we hope is that students continue strengthening their skills, build new skills, and be ready to return in the fall with a love of math and a strong skill set.
The school website has many links to help students of all grade levels over the summer. Be sure to check it out at www.norwood.k12.ma.us. Norwood Extended Day is excited to announce that they will be hosting a modified summer program beginning July 13th and running through August 2nd. The program will run from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Savage Center. All students from kindergarten through 5th grade are welcome to register. Online registration is under the Family Resources tab on the school website. To learn more about this program, email Kristen Capizio at kcapizio@norwood.k12.ma.us. Now we'll toss it over to our good friend Brian Dunn with sports.
Hello everyone, welcome into the sports update for this week. My name is Brian Dunn. A little bit of a different set today. We're at the Willett Field. The DPW was just here a few moments ago, smoothing out the dirt. A fresh pack of dirt can only mean one thing, right? Baseball is back. Yes, the Babe Ruth League and the MIBL are set to resume play on July 6th, with practices already getting underway. And it's evident talking to the players and the coaching staff of the defending Babe Ruth champion athletics that they cannot be more excited.
Ooh, nice one. Yeah, I think it's getting back on the field. I think the coaches, definitely the players, you know, they've been cooped up. I think they were looking forward, most of them were looking forward to playing either the high school level, and they were looking forward to getting back on the field. And so when we finally decided that we were going to do tryouts, I think everybody was really happy. I sent out the emails to the kids, you know, the parents, telling them what was going to happen. And I got a couple of emails back from parents saying, you know, thank God, this is the best news we've heard in a couple of months. So that was good. I think the kids got a good attitude. They want to get back out and play. They want to be with their friends too. I think that's the the big part of the whole thing is being with your friends down the field, seeing each other play, having something to do, look forward to. So, in that sense, it was a relief.
As you can see, we're behind the Willett Field dugout. It's an empty dugout now and will remain empty for the start of the Babe Ruth season because one of a few new rules being implemented to comply with social distancing laws. But that won't stop the players and the coaches from getting back to baseball.
It's been a while. It's good because it gives us time to do stuff and stay active instead of being inside all day and not doing anything.
It feels good to be back outside, doing something instead of just sitting inside. Hopefully we can go back to back.
I think it's better than staying inside all day.
Everybody's is targeting to start that week. So from our point of view, we want to make sure we do it the right way. The parents are concerned. I think we're all concerned. We don't want to spoil it for the next group. I'm looking forward to the football teams getting back out there and doing their thing. So in soccer and those guys. So hopefully we do it the right way and hopefully we can learn from it.
It's great to see that competitive spirit shine through once again. I think I speak for a lot of us here in Norwood when I say we are looking forward to seeing Norwood baseball back on the field again. Reporting from Willett Field, I'm Brian Dunn. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Monday morning, the Board of Health met and began their meeting with the introduction of the new public health nurse, Nicholas Crowenshield. In old business, Segal Reese provided the board with an update on the COVID-19 cases in Norwood.
So definitely seen a decrease in numbers, just like we've seen across the state, definitely seeing that in Norwood also. I included the overall numbers, which are the total confirmed cases, which are 570. And then the confirmed cases we received last week was only 2. And again, these are tested confirmed cases. There's a whole other category of cases called probable, which the total number that is 596. The reason why.
Excuse me, Segal, what's the name of that? Troubled? I can't hear you.
Probable.
Probable.
There's laboratory confirmed, and that means you had the nasal swab, the PCR test. And then there's probable, which means you either had an antibody test or you were diagnosed without an actual PCR test. But my point is that most of the state reports are confirmed cases, and that's why I just report out the confirmed. We do also investigate and deal with the probable cases. So, but it's the confirmed cases that we're really measuring to see the trend of the virus and what's going on.
Later in the meeting, the board received an Impact Norwood update and a restaurant sanitation and new food establishment update. To end the meeting, the board re-elected Kathy Bishop as chairwoman. The next meeting for the Board of Health will be July 20th. The Trails Advisory Committee met Tuesday evening. The group did a roundtable and discussed recent walks they've been on and provided updates on trail marking and upkeep of Norwood's current trails, including the installment of benches supported by the DPW coming at a later date. The committee also discussed an upcoming trail walk event taking place this weekend.
I did briefly talk to Ernie last night, and I think, Vic, we've tentatively had talked about this before, but theoretically or tentatively what we were talking about is trying to meet at the Prescott School, which is basically just across Neponset Street from the top of Meadow. And in a way to kind of minimize the parking going on down at the trailhead. And so meeting there at 3 or before 3 and then just walking down Meadow Street to the trail. Maybe spend an hour and a half-ish. If we, Vic, if your description, if we're not able to spend too much time or go too far into the trail, it's probably the case that maybe an hour and a half should do it.
Yeah.
The Trails Committee will meet again on July 14th. To watch complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for some more town news. Welcome back. The state government is working hard during these times to pass the state's FY21 budget. Our town's representative, John Rogers, came in studio to update us on what has been happening at the state level.
As the Norwood Town Meeting begins to put its 2021 budget together, as the House and Senate of the Massachusetts Great and General Court begins to put its budget together for 2021, I can assure you things will be okay. I can tell you that because I used to write the state budgets as the House Ways and Means Committee chairman during the years that followed the great 9/11 recessions. We were okay then, and I can certainly say to you, we'll be okay now. We put aside more than $3.5 billion in our stabilization account on the state level. That makes Massachusetts with one of the healthiest rainy day funds in America. Just yesterday, I spoke with our Congressman, Steve Lynch, and he's fully confident that the United States Congress will enact the HEROES Act, which, if enacted, will bring billions of dollars nationwide to our individual states, holding them harmless in the ensuing fiscal year. Earlier today, I spoke with colleagues in the House of Representatives and the State Senate, advising and assuring them that we can enact a responsible and balanced state budget for 2021 without making any cuts in 4 major areas of the budget: education, senior citizens, veterans, and our public safety programs. In fact, Senator Mike Rush, and I are calling upon our colleagues in the House and the Senate to continue to make major and significant increased financial investments in our regular education programs, our special education programs, and our charter school reimbursements to cities and towns. And finally, let me just speak to the parents of the Norwood Public School children. I know how you feel. I know the questions you may have, the anxieties you may feel. In a couple of months, 2 of my daughters will be attending Norwood High School. And I agree with you. They, our children, all children, are our future. And I can assure you, our future is bright. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
With 4th of July quickly approaching, the Old Parish Preservation volunteers have had to make changes to the annual ceremonies at the cemetery. Due to the social distancing requirements, the walking tour of the cemetery will be canceled for this year. For more on what is still available, we go to John Grove.
Hi, it's John Grove. I'm at the Old Parish Cemetery in Norwood, where you're about to see what we did in the summer of 2019 on July 4th. We recreated the 1852 July 4th speech given by Frederick S. Douglass. We had over 40 volunteers from Norwood who read a paragraph from the speech to an audience of about 150. That event was a huge success. Many people said, let's do it again. However, this year, for obvious reasons, we cannot be convening that large a crowd in our small cemetery. So instead, we're going to feature a walkthrough of the cemetery. The cemetery will be open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you can stroll through at your leisure. Take a look at the work we've done in resetting and cleaning gravestones and the landscaping. And you can even carry your iPhone around and read a QR code that will tell you a bit about some of the people buried here. For example, the stone behind me is Harriet Morse. Learn about a little bit about who Harriet was and how she fits in 19th century Norwood. So we hope to see you on July 4th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And in the meantime, take a look at last year's celebration in the cemetery.
During the quarantine restrictions, many restaurants chose to offer takeout, while others chose to shut their doors completely. Napper Tandy's on Day Street was one of those that closed their doors. They spent this time making renovations and doing deep cleaning to the inside of their restaurant. Just last week, they reopened their doors and provided outdoor seating to the patrons.
So we have, I believe it's 42 additional seats out front in conjunction with our back patio, which holds about 30.
The staff is learning all the new procedures that will come along with reopening.
A lot more cleaning. So cleaning before, during, and after. Different carrying methods from transporting the food from the kitchen to the consumer. So no more carrying in the arm. We need followers.
Aside from the renovations on the inside, there are some more exciting changes at Napper's.
We have a new menu. It's been revamped and tweaked. There's a few new items, salads and rice bowls and calzones. So if you were bored with the old menu or want to try something new, come and check it out.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. We end the news this week with a powerful video produced by Norwood High School. Last week, Principal Dr. Hugh Galligan sent an email to students and families on the topic of racial injustice. He stated that staff stands in solidarity with Black students, families, colleagues, and community members, and believes that Black lives matter. Included in the email was a video that featured 59 members of the high school staff reading the poem "Change Will Come, a Heart Check." To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.
Change will come.
Change will come.
Change will come.
Change will come when
Systems of privilege admit
the game has been fixed.
When the injustice that weighs
so heavy on my community is recognized.
And the burden is shared and lifted.
When the image of racism isn't sidestepped.
And mirrors all over America.
When my son and my daughter have no need to fear the policing or the policies that police them academically.
When my activism lights the fire that burns in your actions.
Your choices.
Your conversations.
Your sidelining.
Your sitting.
And your silence.
That's when change will come.
Change will come when?
When Black men are no longer vilified.
When the culture of white supremacy is dismantled.
When schools teach the greatness of Black and Brown civilizations and culture.
When the focus of our interactions with one another
revolve around impact and not intent.
When we recognize that trying to be a good person,
it's not good enough.
When we start to celebrate difference.
Opposed to shunning it.
When we normalize talking about race and injustice. When we acknowledge and own the fact that this is self-work.
And that systems are made up of human beings.
When our individual and collective actions are aligned.
With our words, hopes, values, and dreams.
When well-intended, privileged white people are willing to change.
And commit themselves to working on change.
Each and every day.
That's when change will come.
Change will come when
we as white Americans put aside our own discomfort.
Our own privilege.
To see, to stand for, to stand by.
To elevate, to fight.
Because Black lives
and Black children's lives
have always mattered.
Mattering cannot be a privilege.
Black lives matter.
Believe it.
Say it. Mean it.
Black lives matter.
That's when change will come.
Change will come.
Change will come.
Change will come.
This has been a heart check.
A heart check.
Check.